Top 20 actors who hate their own movies.
We're just here to use the bathroom. And then we're just gonna leave.
Sometimes even the brightest stars in Hollywood's constellation can't stand their own work. From blockbuster hits to indie darlings, these top-tier actors have publicly declared their distaste for films they starred in, revealing candid insights, surprising regrets, and even a little bitterness. Were these projects doomed from the start? Or did something go horribly wrong behind the scenes? Buckle up as we dive into the top 20 actors who flat out hate their own movies and why they want them wiped from their resumes forever. George Clooney, Batman and Robin. Regarding the infamous 1997 film, Batman and Robin, George Clooney has frequently and openly admitted his regrets. He jokingly takes responsibility for the film's critical failure, stating he killed the franchise. Clooney readily acknowledges the movie's poor reception, describing it as a pretty horrendous film and admitting his acting fell short. His self-deprecating humor concerning his performance and the film's over-the-top style is quite endearing. He's famously joked about the infamous bat-suit nipples, saying he can't get into all the bat nipples. He also revealed his family's viewing of the film, lamenting, "There are certain films I just go, I want my wife to have some respect for me." However, Clooney's career thrived despite Batman and Robin's box office and critical failure. His experience highlights the cyclical nature of superhero movies. Even unsuccessful entries eventually give way to successful reboots. Clooney's candid admission of the film's flaws is refreshing, providing a lighthearted perspective on a generally disliked Batman film. This experience serves as a valuable lesson. Even accomplished actors and directors can produce less than stellar work. Clooney's frankness regarding the film's shortcomings and his own acting demonstrates the resilience of actors to recover from notable setbacks. His self-effacing humor and ability to laugh at his own mistakes endears him to audiences, making his comments about Batman and Robin a memorable part of his public persona. Charlize Theron, Reindeer Games.
Hey! Hey! Gabriel! Don't talk to me about grief.
Charlize Theron has been remarkably candid about her experience with the 2000 thriller Reindeer Games, offering a blunt assessment of the film as a bad movie in a 2007 interview with Esquire magazine. This forthright criticism is particularly striking, given that the interview took place during a period when Theron was receiving significant critical acclaim for her roles in films like The Devil's Advocate and The Cider House Rules. She explicitly acknowledged that Reindeer Games, which underperformed both critically and commercially, represented the least successful film of her career to date. Theron attributed her participation in the project to her admiration for the director, John Frankenheimer, stating, "I did it because I loved John Frankenheimer." This explanation underscores the complex factors that can influence an actor's decision-making process. Her candid critique aligns perfectly with the film's overwhelmingly negative reception, as evidenced by its low 25% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The fact that Theron offered such a strongly negative assessment years after the film's release suggests a continued dissatisfaction with both the project itself and her performance within it, emphasizing the contrast between her considerable talent and the film's overall shortcomings. Theron's comments firmly established Reindeer Games as a notable low point in her career, a project she chose to undertake despite recognizing its flaws, primarily motivated by her respect for the director. Her clear and unapologetic articulation of the film's inadequacies highlights her commitment to artistic integrity and her willingness to express her honest opinions, even when those opinions pertain to a film in which she starred. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment "OK" if you find this video interesting. Thank you. Mark Wahlberg, The Happening.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Mark Wahlberg has not shied away from expressing his disappointment with the 2008 film The Happening, in which he starred alongside Zooey Deschanel. He has openly acknowledged the film's overwhelmingly negative reception, even humorously suggesting that his co-star Amy Adams was fortunate to have declined a role in the project. Wahlberg's comments reflect the widespread critical consensus that The Happening represents a significant low point in director M. Night Shyamalan's later work. Wahlberg's performance in the film was heavily criticized, and the film itself holds a dismal 17% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The film even became the subject of a popular Saturday Night Live sketch, Mark Wahlberg Talks to Animals, which satirized the film's often absurd dialogue. Wahlberg's willingness to embrace this comedic portrayal of his role in The Happening demonstrates a self-aware and non-defensive attitude towards the film's failings. Despite the film's poor reception, The Happening did not significantly impact Wahlberg's overall career trajectory. However, his experience serves as a cautionary tale regarding the risks actors take when participating in projects directed by filmmakers whose recent work has fallen short of their earlier achievements, as was the case with Shyamalan at the time of The Happening's release. Wahlberg's candid discussion of the film highlights his capacity for self-reflection, his ability to learn from setbacks, and his sense of humor about his career choices, even those resulting in critically panned films. Sandra Bullock, Speed 2, Cruise Control. Sandra Bullock has been notably candid about her regret over participating in the 1997 film Speed 2 Cruise Control, the critically panned sequel to her successful action thriller Speed. In recent interviews, Bullock has openly admitted that the sequel was horrible and expressed clear remorse over her involvement in the project. Bullock's assessment reflects the widespread critical consensus that Speed 2, Cruise Control paled in comparison to its predecessor, featuring a widely derided plot centered on a cruise ship slowly approaching an island. The sequel, which starred Jason Patric instead of Keanu Reeves, was met with overwhelmingly negative reviews and significantly underperformed at the box office compared to the original Speed. Bullock's willingness to openly acknowledge and criticize Speed 2's shortcomings is commendable. She has stated that her experiences with sequels have generally been negative, citing the poor reception of both Speed 2 and Miss Congeniality 2 as reasons for adopting a no-sequel policy for her future career choices. Her perspective highlights the challenges inherent in attempting to replicate the success of a hit film with a sequel, and demonstrates a more selective and discerning approach to choosing future projects. Despite the negative association with Speed 2, Bullock's career continued to flourish, with her subsequent performances in films like The Blind Side, Gravity, and The Lost City earning her critical acclaim and box office success. Her candid reflections on Speed 2 serve as a cautionary tale about the risks involved in the Hollywood sequel phenomenon, illustrating that even highly talented actors cannot always salvage a poorly conceived and executed sequel. Halle Berry, Catwoman. Halle Berry's experience with the 2004 film Catwoman stands as a notable example of a prominent actor openly acknowledging and accepting responsibility for a critical and commercial failure. Berry famously received a Razzie Award for Worst Actress for her performance, and she used her acceptance speech to offer a comically self-deprecating acknowledgement of the film's shortcomings, thanking Warner Brothers for putting me in a god-awful piece of society, god-awful movie. This level of public self-criticism from a high-profile actress is unusual, underscoring Berry's willingness to confront the film's poor quality directly. She expressed dissatisfaction with the film's script, questioning the motivations of the characters and highlighting the underdevelopment of Catwoman's role in comparison to her male superhero counterparts. Her statement, "I'd like to thank Warner Brothers for making me do this god-awful piece of movie," became a memorable moment in Razzie Awards history. Berry's comments shed light on the challenges actors face when working on poorly written and executed films, particularly emphasizing the lack of substantial and well-developed roles for women of color in the superhero genre at the time. Despite the film's overwhelmingly negative reception, it is frequently cited as one of the worst films ever made, Berry's career remained largely unaffected. Her Razzie acceptance speech, widely praised for its humor and candor, sparked important conversations about representation and diversity in superhero cinema. Berry's willingness to confront the failure of Catwoman with humor and self-awareness is significant, illustrating the difficult situations actors can encounter when involved in projects that ultimately fall short of expectations. Sean Connery, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Sir Sean Connery, renowned for his iconic portrayal of James Bond, had a deeply negative experience filming 2003's The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Playing Alan Quatermain, Connery described the production as a nightmare, blaming the director's arrogance mistaken for talent for the poor working conditions. Reports indicated frequent clashes between Connery and director Stephen Norrington, reportedly escalating to physical altercations. To cope with the challenging environment, Connery allegedly consumed alcohol extensively throughout filming. His comments paint a picture of a deeply troubled production, hampered by disagreements and a general lack of on-set harmony. The impact on Connery was significant, influencing his career trajectory. Following the film's release, he retired from acting, citing this experience as a contributing factor. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen's poor reception further cemented its status as a low point in his otherwise illustrious career. Connery's experience serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of a positive and collaborative on-set environment. Creative differences can rapidly escalate, severely hindering a production, as Connery's difficult experience demonstrates. The film's lasting reputation as a troubled production and career low point for Connery underscores the potential negative consequences of discord between actors and directors. Sean Connery's film, flop. Comment 9 if you think he made the right decision retiring after that film, or 0 if you think he should have kept acting. Let's vote. Hugh Grant, 9 months.
What?
My water broke.
Well, we'll get you another.
No, my water broke.
Hugh Grant regrets his role in the 1995 romantic comedy, 9 Months, primarily due to its association with 20th Century Fox, then owned by Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation. His aversion stems from the News of the World phone hacking scandal, implicating Murdoch's media empire in illegal and unethical behavior. Grant explained, "It would certainly stick in my craw to work for Fox. I did make one film for them 16 years ago, but I was naive then. I didn't even know who owned it, the studio." His regret isn't about the film's quality or his on-set experience, but about his association with controversial figures like Murdoch. Grant's stance highlights his personal values and a growing trend among actors prioritizing principles over potential career benefits. His statement, "I was naive then. I didn't even know who owned it, the studio," reveals how media ownership influences actors' decisions and the complex relationship between artists and powerful media corporations. Despite his criticism of 9 Months, Grant's career hasn't suffered. Instead, his position has sparked conversations about ethical considerations in the entertainment industry, demonstrating a willingness to prioritize values over career advancement. This reflects a growing trend of actors opposing unethical practices in Hollywood, a pattern likely to continue as the industry grapples with accountability and transparency. Jim Carrey, Kick-Ass 2. Jim Carrey, known for roles in films like The Mask and The Truman Show, faced a difficult situation regarding his participation in the 2013 film Kick-Ass 2. Following the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, just a month after completing his role, Carrey publicly stated he could no longer endorse the film's level of violence. In a tweet to his 10.8 million followers, Carrey clarified his position wasn't a critique of his performance, but a moral objection to the film's violent content in light of the recent tragedy. He stated, "I did Kick-Ass a month before Sandy Hook, and now in all good conscience I cannot support that level of violence," adding, "My apologies to others involved with the film. I am not ashamed of it, but recent events have caused a change in my heart." Carrey's decision sparked conversations about violence in entertainment, particularly after real-world tragedies. His prioritization of ethical considerations over potential career repercussions was noteworthy, highlighting how artists' perspectives can evolve over time, especially in response to external events. Kick-Ass 2 creator Mark Miller expressed bafflement, noting that nothing seen in this picture wasn't in the screenplay 18 months ago. However, Carrey's actions underscored that actors aren't obligated to endorse work that no longer aligns with their beliefs, sparking broader discussions about gun violence and its portrayal in media. Christopher Plummer, The Sound of Music.
Are so fortunate to be able to have the chance.
Celebrated for his diverse roles, Christopher Plummer maintained a complex relationship with the classic film, The Sound of Music. Despite its enormous success and enduring popularity, he openly expressed disdain, describing it as so awful and sentimental and gooey, and humorously calling it the sound of mucus. His negative views were widely known throughout his career. Plummer found the film's sentimentality overly saccharine and unsuited to his taste. In an interview, he confessed to being a bit bored with the character of Captain Von Trapp, suggesting studio attempts to improve it were like flogging a dead horse. Plummer long avoided cast reunions and celebrations marking the film's milestones. However, he made an exception in 2010, appearing on The Oprah Winfrey Show with co-star Julie Andrews for its 45th anniversary. Significantly, he cited enjoying the cast's hotel stay as a highlight, suggesting a possible shift in his perspective. While initially strongly critical of The Sound of Music, Plummer's view evolved. He eventually appreciated its enduring appeal and widespread adoration, acknowledging its special place in the hearts of global audiences. Even if not fully embracing it, his initial dislike reflects his artistic integrity and commitment to his principles, despite the film's immense commercial success. Michael Caine, Jaws: The Revenge.
Damn thing's disappeared! He's gone!
Sir Michael Caine is famously candid about his dislike for 1987's Jaws. The Revenge, the fourth film in the Jaws franchise. Playing a supporting role, Caine humorously stated, "I have never seen it, but by all accounts it is terrible," reflecting the film's overwhelmingly negative reception, a 0% Rotten Tomatoes rating. Caine's willingness to criticize the film, despite his participation, is notable. He even jokingly mentioned seeing the house that it built, acknowledging its financial success despite its poor quality. Jaws: The Revenge is widely considered the weakest entry in the franchise, criticized for its illogical plot, poor special effects, and lack of suspense. Caine's comments highlight the disparity between a film's commercial performance and artistic merit. It illustrates the risks of franchise filmmaking, particularly unnecessary sequels failing to recapture the original's success. Caine's quip has become a well-known anecdote about the film's poor quality, serving as a cautionary tale for filmmakers and audiences alike. Despite Jaws: The Revenge's failure, Caine's career remained unaffected. He continued to receive critical acclaim, winning 2 Academy Awards and solidifying his reputation as one of cinema's greats. His willingness to openly criticize the film, even at the height of his career, demonstrates his integrity and commitment to honesty within the industry. Channing Tatum, G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. Channing Tatum has openly admitted his dislike for the 2009 film G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra, where he starred as Duke. He candidly stated, "I hate that movie, I truly detest it," explaining that contractual obligations compelled him to accept the role despite 7 previous refusals. A childhood fan of the G.I. Joe franchise, he'd hoped to play Snake Eyes, but the studio insisted on Duke. Despite his negative feelings, Tatum acknowledged the film's career-boosting impact, saying, "I'm incredibly fortunate and grateful to have been given that film, despite its shortcomings." His honesty is noteworthy, as actors often feel pressured to maintain a positive public image, regardless of their feelings toward a project. Tatum's experience highlights the potential drawbacks of early career multi-picture deals. He mentioned that after Coach Carter, a 3-picture contract led to his involvement in G.I. Joe, a film he wasn't enthusiastic about. His willingness to be candid about this, even concerning a commercially successful movie, is significant. The film's mixed reception, contrary to expectations, didn't hinder Tatum's career. He ascended to become a leading Hollywood actor, starring in successful franchises like Magic Mike. Tatum's journey shows that actors can succeed even in projects they dislike, as long as they are honest about their feelings and actively pursue roles aligning with their interests. Katherine Heigl, Knocked Up. Katherine Heigl's criticism of the 2007 comedy Knocked Up sparked a public controversy significantly impacting her career. Heigl, a lead actress in the film, publicly criticized its portrayal of women, calling her character a shrew and humorless, claiming the film was a little sexist and relegated her to a stereotypical role. Some viewed Heigl's comments as ungrateful and potentially damaging to her career. Director Judd Apatow and co-star Seth Rogen expressed displeasure, highlighting the potential for differing interpretations of comedic material. As Rogen noted, "When I heard afterward that she didn't like it, that she seemed to not like the process, and she did not like the end product either. I think when that happens, also your trust feels somewhat betrayed." Heigl's willingness to speak out against perceived sexism, despite potential career consequences, is significant. Her situation illustrates the challenges actresses face combating sexist tropes in Hollywood. She later reflected, "I was so judgmental and kind of uptight and controlling and all these things." The incident fueled discussions about gender representation in comedy and the power dynamics women face when voicing opinions in the film industry. Following the controversy, Heigl's career faced setbacks, some suggesting her candor damaged her reputation and prospects. Her experience serves as a cautionary tale about the potential repercussions for women challenging established norms, even within comedy. Robert Pattinson, The Twilight Franchise. Robert Pattinson has openly expressed his dislike for the Twilight saga, offering candid opinions about the films that launched him to fame. He has criticized the scripts, his character, and the overall narrative, often humorously expressing a desire to regain his dignity after his involvement. Pattinson's experience highlights the potential disconnect between an actor's personal preferences and the projects that propel them to stardom. He recalled his first impression of the Twilight books, stating, "When I read it, I was convinced Stephanie was convinced she was Bella, and it was like it was a book that wasn't supposed to be published. It was like reading her sexual fantasy, especially when she said it was based on a dream." Despite the franchise's massive success, Pattinson's candid disapproval has resonated positively with audiences. His willingness to joke about his participation showcases a successful transition from teen idol to respected actor, demonstrating that he isn't defined by his earlier roles. Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. The second installment of the Transformers franchise, Revenge of the Fallen, received significant criticism not only from film critics but also from its own stars, Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. Both actors publicly voiced their dissatisfaction with the film, echoing the widespread sentiment that the sequel prioritized spectacular visual effects over a compelling narrative. LaBeouf acknowledged that the film got lost, while Fox stated that it lacked a focus on acting. This candid criticism from two lead actors of a highly successful and profitable franchise is unusual. Actors are often expected to maintain a positive public image, particularly concerning major studio productions with large budgets. However, LaBeouf and Fox's outspokenness highlights the potential for significant creative clashes between performers and filmmakers, particularly in high-stakes projects where the pursuit of commercial success can sometimes overshadow artistic integrity. LaBeouf and Fox's comments sparked a broader conversation about the prevalent tendency in Hollywood to prioritize special effects over substantial storytelling. Their experiences underscore the important distinction between financial success and genuine artistic fulfillment, demonstrating that box office triumphs don't always equate to creative satisfaction for those involved in the production. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Sam Worthington, Clash of the Titans. Sam Worthington, the star of the 2010 fantasy film Clash of the Titans, offered a remarkably candid and self-critical assessment of both his performance and the film itself. In interviews, Worthington acknowledged that the movie kind of let down some people, expressing particular dissatisfaction with his portrayal of the lead character, Perseus. He described his performance as generic and bland, even going so far as to compare himself to a Barbie doll, indicating a belief that his acting lacked depth and authenticity. Despite the film's considerable box office success, grossing over $163 million, Worthington's comments demonstrate a keen awareness of the film's shortcomings. He recognized that Clash of the Titans, despite its grand mythological premise and substantial budget, failed to connect with audiences on a deeper level. Worthington's willingness to openly critique his own performance is unusual for a leading actor who often feel pressured to defend their work, regardless of negative reviews. Worthington's experience highlights the inherent pressures actors face when involved in large-budget franchise films. However, his commitment to learning from his perceived mistakes and his evident desire to deliver a stronger performance in the sequel, Wrath of the Titans, showcases his dedication to his craft and his ambition for continuous improvement. The fact that his career was not significantly harmed by the less than positive reception of Clash of the Titans suggests that audiences often show a degree of leniency towards actors who demonstrate a commitment to growth and strive for excellence in their future projects. Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness, the acclaimed British actor, initially expressed enthusiasm for the potential of Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope. However, his perspective shifted significantly during the course of filming. In letters written during production, Guinness referred to the film as fairy tale rubbish, criticizing the dialogue as banal, and describing the filming process as tedious and repetitive. This change in Guinness's opinion highlights how initial excitement about a project can wane over the long duration of a film production. His comments also reveal a generational divide in the appreciation of the film's appeal. While younger audiences embraced its imaginative storytelling and groundbreaking special effects, some older viewers, including Guinness himself, found the narrative overly simplistic and lacking in depth. Despite his private reservations, Guinness's participation in Star Wars demonstrates the complex and multifaceted nature of an actor's relationship with their work. His professional reputation remained untarnished by his involvement, and he continued to portray Obi-Wan Kenobi in subsequent Star Wars films. Guinness's perspective provides a unique and valuable insight into the making of a cultural landmark. His experience underscores the fact that even iconic films can be subject to criticism, even from those directly involved in their creation. It serves as a reminder of the inherently subjective nature of art and the diversity of interpretations and appreciations that creative works inevitably evoke from both audiences and artists. Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds has been exceptionally candid about his negative experience with the 2011 superhero film Green Lantern, in which he played the titular role. He has publicly acknowledged the film's flaws, giving it a rating of 3 or 4 out of 10, and characterizing it as a victim of the Hollywood process. This self-awareness and willingness to openly criticize his own work have paradoxically enhanced his appeal to audiences, demonstrating a capacity for self-reflection and a commitment to learning from past mistakes. Reynolds' involvement in Green Lantern underscores the challenges inherent in adapting comic book properties to the big screen, particularly when significant deviations are made from the source material. Despite the film's critical and commercial failure, Reynolds' career trajectory remained largely unaffected. Indeed, he subsequently achieved massive success with the Deadpool franchise, even incorporating humorous references to the Green Lantern experience into later projects. As Reynolds himself has noted, "I've never been offered a job I've turned down. I've been offered jobs that I've said no to, but I've never been offered a job that I've turned down," highlighting his selective approach to roles. Reynolds' self-deprecating humor regarding Green Lantern has further increased his relatability and likability. His willingness to laugh at his own expense and acknowledge past missteps has made him more relatable to audiences. His experience serves as a reminder that even highly skilled actors and filmmakers can experience setbacks, and that the path to success is often paved with failures. Reynolds' capacity to recognize and learn from the Green Lantern experience, integrating those lessons into his subsequent career choices, is a testament to his resilience and his commitment to artistic growth. Bob Hoskins, Super Mario Bros. Bob Hoskins, celebrated for his roles in films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Hook, had a profoundly negative experience working on the 1993 live-action adaptation of Super Mario Bros. While initially reluctant to take on the project, Hoskins ultimately agreed to play Mario after several revisions to the script. However, his time on set was plagued by considerable distress and dissatisfaction. Hoskins famously described the film as a fucking nightmare, directly criticizing directors Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton for what he perceived as arrogance mistaken for talent. He detailed a difficult production process characterized by constant script changes and significant conflicts with the directors. To cope with the stressful working conditions, Hoskins and his co-star John Leguizamo resorted to heavy drinking, often beginning their day intoxicated and continuing to drink throughout filming breaks. Hoskins' outspoken account highlights a deeply dysfunctional and unpleasant production environment. His experience underscores the critical importance of a collaborative and respectful atmosphere on a film set. His willingness to openly discuss these negative experiences is commendable, shedding light on the challenges inherent in adapting beloved source material for the screen and the potential for creative differences to derail a production. The film's critical and commercial failure cemented its status as a low point in Hoskins' career. The stark contrast between Hoskins' deeply negative recollections and the more positive, even appreciative response the film has garnered at recent screenings is noteworthy. While initially a critical and commercial failure, some viewers have since found a newfound appreciation for the film's unique style and pioneering use of CGI and animatronics, demonstrating the often subjective nature of artistic judgment and the evolving perception of films over time. However, the fragmented storyline and the significant production issues remain undeniable factors in the film's ultimate failure. Zac Efron, the High School Musical franchise. Zac Efron's relationship with the High School Musical franchise, the project that launched him to stardom, is far more nuanced and positive than some narratives suggest. Contrary to the occasional implication that he regrets his involvement or wishes to distance himself from the role of Troy Bolton, Efron has consistently expressed fondness and appreciation for his experiences on the Disney Channel series. In recent interviews, Efron has spoken warmly about his time working on High School Musical, stating, "It's impossible to look back on High School Musical with anything except absolute love and joy. That's my formative years. It's everything to me." Rather than attempting to shed his teen idol image, Efron has openly acknowledged the enduring legacy of the series and its impact on his career and the lives of countless fans who grew up watching the films. This positive sentiment extends to publicly acknowledging the contributions of the director and producer during his Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. Efron's candid and affectionate reflections on High School Musical demonstrate a refreshing honesty regarding his feelings toward the franchise that defined the early stages of his career. He clearly understands the significant influence the series had on his professional trajectory and its enduring popularity with fans. Instead of shying away from his past, Efron has successfully transitioned from teen heartthrob to respected actor, taking on more challenging and complex roles while maintaining a genuine appreciation for the role that initially brought him fame and recognition. Bill Murray, Garfield, the movie. Bill Murray's involvement in the 2004 film Garfield, the movie has become a frequently recounted anecdote, illustrating even the most celebrated actors can make less than ideal career choices. Murray famously mistook the film's screenwriter Joel Cohen for Joel Cohen of the Coen brothers. In a later interview with GQ, Murray recounted the incident. "I looked at the script and it said, so-and-so and Joel Cohen. And I thought, Christ, well, I love those Coens. They're funny. So I sort of read a few pages of it and thought, yeah, I'd like to do that." This misidentification led him to accept the role of voicing Garfield, despite the ultimately underwhelming quality of the script. Murray's subsequent comments reveal his regret over the decision. During a Reddit AMA, he humorously stated, "I don't believe so. I had an amusing encounter with Garfield. I only skimmed through the script, and I wanted to do an animated movie because I had glanced at it and it read Joel Cohen on it. I wasn't thinking clearly, but it was spelled Cohen, not Cohen." Murray's self-deprecating humor regarding this misjudgment is both charming and underscores the importance of careful consideration before committing to any project. Despite the generally negative critical response to Garfield, the movie, Murray's career remained largely unaffected. His experience serves as a reminder that even highly experienced actors can make mistakes in their project selection. His ability to find humor in his own oversight, however, has transformed this incident into a widely appreciated and frequently shared anecdote. Ultimately, Murray's Garfield experience offers a lighthearted perspective on the occasional missteps that can occur even within a long and successful career, emphasizing his enduring appeal and relatability. From George Clooney's well-documented regrets about Batman and Robin to Robert Pattinson's reflections on the Twilight Saga, we've examined how even the most celebrated actors can have complex and sometimes ambivalent feelings about their own films. This exploration underscores the reality that not every project, regardless of an actor's talent or star power, aligns perfectly with their artistic vision or career goals. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever watched a film featuring an actor you admire and found yourself questioning the choices made, either by the actor or the filmmakers? Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. Engage with us by commenting below. Has this story connected with you? Drop a 9 if it did, or a 0 if it didn't quite hit the mark. Your feedback helps us bring you more of what you love. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.